They told you that chemistry was something magical. The breathless rush when you see that person, the palms sweating, the way they refuse to leave your mind. They told you this was the purest form of love, that destiny had finally found you and stitched your story to another. But Carl Jung would disagree. He would pull you aside, away from the music, the candlelight, the fairy tale, and say, "This isn't chemistry. This is your unconscious taking the wheel. This is your shadow." Listen closely, because what follows may force you to re-see your entire relationship history. According to Jung, when you fall madly in love, you're often not in love with the other person at all. You're in love with the missing part of yourself. It sounds wild, almost insulting to the romance we were promised. But ask yourself, who were you last in love with? Who were they really? Or were you in love with a feeling they stirred in you? A locked room inside you they somehow opened? Jung taught that every man carries an inner feminine, the anima, and every woman carries an inner masculine, the animus. These aren't abstract labels. They are living tendencies, the disowned, rejected, "that's not me" sides of you. When someone detonates volcanoes inside you, they are often mirroring precisely what you've buried. They seem to complete you. But that sense of completion is an illusion. You aren't truly seeing them. You're seeing yourself in them, the version of you you never met or never allowed. This is why love can hurt so much. You're chasing a mirage. The person in front of you isn't the person you believe they are. They are a screen for your projection. And the worst part? They are likely projecting onto you as well. Two cracked mirrors face each other, reflecting and amplifying until the image loops without end. And you call that loop love. Consider a true-to-life story. I knew a man, smart, charming, successful, who kept falling for the same kind of woman, emotionally distant, cool, unreachable. One left him, another cheated, a third belittled him. Every collapse felt apocalyptic. Every time he vowed, "Never again." And then he found the same pattern with a different face. Why? Because his mother had been like that, distant, withholding, careful with affection, as if love were a currency to be rationed. He didn't realize it, but each relationship was a mission to win the love he never received. He wasn't chasing women, he was chasing the end of a childhood story. This is the dark truth Jung pointed to. We trust our free will, our taste, our standards, but wounds make many of our choices. You say, "My heart chose them." No, your wound did. It chose what felt familiar. Pain is familiar. And strangely, familiar pain feels safe. At least you know the script. You've rehearsed this scene. Look from another angle. Some women repeatedly choose men who make them feel small. "Good guys don't excite me," they say. "When a man treats me too well, I can't feel anything." That isn't preference, it's programming. As children, they learned love had a price, that it must be earned, that ease meant it wasn't real. So when a man offers steady, uncomplicated care, the unconscious sounds the alarm. This can't be true. The body whispers, "Real love hurts." And she walks toward the hand that withholds. Jung called this the projection trap. You don't love that person. You love the drama they represent. You're chasing the fantasy of being finally chosen, finally worthy, finally enough. But the finale never arrives, because the problem isn't the other person. The problem is the unfinished story inside you. In the modern world, it's even messier. Some people, consciously or not, learn to use this mechanism. They sense what you're starving for and perform that role with precision. Before a powerful man, they become exquisitely vulnerable. Before a fragile man, they become strong and rescuing. They transform into his anima, and he's spellbound, not by her, but by the missing piece of himself she seems to embody. He is, in a sense, in love with his own reflection. The same pattern ensnares women. Some men promise the father's approval they never got, then pull it away, then give it back, then pull it again. Push and pull, give and withhold. She begins to orbit him like a satellite around a dark star. Why is he doing this? Because it works. Because her wound is wired to crave what's withheld. Jung put it plainly, until you face your shadow, it will run your life, and you will call it fate. That is exactly what happens. We think we are choosing. In truth, we're being chosen by our trauma. We mistake the voice of the wound for the voice of love. So what do? Swear off love? Distrust everyone? Lock the heart and throw away the key? No. Jung's counsel is quieter, braver. Know yourself. Turn and face the shadow. Ask what you suppress, what you reject, what you refuse to own. Learn the texture of your hunger so you stop mistaking it for destiny. Then, when you feel yourself falling, ask, is this about who they are or about what I've projected? Hard? Of course. Projection feels real. Your heart races. Your thoughts loop. The world narrows to a single point of light. How could that not be love? But Jung would say that true love arrives differently, not like a storm, but like a river. It doesn't deplete you. It nourishes you. It doesn't shrink you. It expands you. The trouble is, many of us were raised on storms. Calm feels boring. Without drama, we think it isn't love. This is a central tragedy of the modern self. We're so acclimated to pain that peace feels foreign. A healthy relationship can feel dull by comparison, so we say, there's no spark. But perhaps the spark we crave is two wounds colliding. Perhaps real love isn't a spark at all. It's warmth. It doesn't scorch. It sustains. Do yourself a kindness and review your past relationships. Is there a theme? Have you been repeating the same wound with different faces? If so, the problem isn't your value. It's the unhealed injury. Until it heals, you won't recognize real love, even when it stands before you. In your wounded state, you'll magnetize the similarly wounded and call that pull chemistry. As Jung might put it, be whole, then love. Complete yourself first, then join with another. Two halves don't make a whole in love. Two incomplete people often hollow each other out further. Wholeness first, union second, not the other way around. Yes, some people exploit this. In the social media age, reading wounds is easy. Our posts reveal what we miss, what we long for. Some weaponize that knowledge and present themselves as the cure. It isn't real. It's manipulation. The more wounded you are, the easier the performance works. Picture a woman captioning, "There are no real men left." Beneath that sentence is often a father wound. She is primed for the image of the strong man. Some men notice and play the part. She falls, not in love with the man, but with the role. When he drops the act, the set collapses and the harsh lights come on. She feels betrayed by a script she co-wrote with her projection. Or consider the man who repeats, "All women are the same." Likely a mother wound. Ironically, he keeps choosing the same kind of woman because the unconscious hunts the familiar. Even when the familiar hurts, it can feel like safety. He calls it my type. His nervous system calls it home. Jung warned us, until the unconscious becomes conscious, It will direct your life. That is why we repeat ourselves. We fall for the same types. We relive the same pain. We call it destiny. It isn't destiny. It's the loop of unhealed pain, now turbocharged by algorithms that reward repetition. So what's the way out? Step 1 is awareness. Be honest. Whom are you drawn to and why? What do they make you feel? What do they seem to complete for you? Step 2 is acceptance. Admit that many attractions are wound-driven. Don't be ashamed. Everyone has wounds. Step 3 is healing. Therapy if you can, deep journaling, meditation, steady friendships, anything that helps you face what hurts and integrate it. Finally, choose consciously. Now that you can hear your wound's voice, don't mistake it for love's voice. When attraction flares, ask, is this real, or is my wound speaking? If it's your wound, thank the lesson and step away. Choose what is good for you, not just what is loud. Because real love arrives differently, quietly, steadily, with peace. It warms, it doesn't burn, it feeds, it doesn't drain, it doesn't cut pieces off you, it makes you more yourself. But to receive it, you must become whole. Face the shadow. Tend the injuries. Practice staying with calm long enough that it stops feeling like boredom and starts feeling like safety. Calm versus boredom matters here. Boredom is a fog. Calm is a clear sky. Boredom dulls your senses and leaves you numb. Calm sharpens them and leaves you present. In boredom, you check out. In calm, you tune in. Boredom asks for a louder stimulus, more drama, more intensity. Calm invites depth, more honesty, more attentiveness, more breath. How do you spot projection in real time? Watch for urgency without context, idealization without evidence, and the way red flags suddenly look like carnival lights. Notice if you edit yourself to fit a role. You laugh louder, agree faster, abandon your routines. Notice if your friends become obstacles to the romance, if you keep secrets from your future self, if your life shrinks around the other person like plastic around heat. What does real love feel like? Not perfect, not always easy, but sane. You remain curious about the other person rather than certain about a fantasy. You move at the speed of trust. Your values stay intact. You can set a boundary and still be welcomed. You don't vanish into the relationship. You become more visible to yourself. The relationship doesn't demand that you amputate friendships, passions, or sleep. It asks you to bring your whole life and to keep growing it. One practical ritual for closing the old loop: write the letter you never sent. Address it to the parent who couldn't give what you needed, or to the first love who taught you that pain equals passion. Say everything you needed to say. Acknowledge what you wanted and didn't get. Grieve it. Thank the part of you that kept trying to win the unwinnable game. Then, without sending it, let it go, burn it safely, or bury it under a stone you can visit. Mark the end of that story so a new one can begin. Grief isn't the enemy of love. Unresolved grief is. When grief completes its arc, love has room to take a different shape. Warmer, steadier, freer. Jung once wrote something fierce. The gods have become diseases. Powers once projected onto gods now show up as neuroses, obsessions, compulsions. Eros, the god of love, becomes compulsive eroticism. Ares, the god of war, becomes blind rage. We carry these forces within us without realizing it, and they don't ask for permission before they steer. So when you feel madly in love, pause. Is it love, Or has a god in you gone berserk? Archetypal energies are powerful but blind. They don't care where they drag you. They only want to be fed. They want a scene, a sacrifice, an altar disguised as a date night. Modern life intensifies this. Once upon a time, you had 3 potential partners in your village. Now you have millions of profiles in your pocket. Everyone shows a highlight reel, edited, filtered, staged. Almost anyone can become your ideal projection for a while. Swipe right, swipe left. But who are you really choosing? A living human or the avatar that best mirrors your fantasy? And yes, the apps know what they're doing. They hook your dopamine system, variable rewards, intermittent matches, near misses engineered to keep you pulling the lever. They give you what you want, or almost give it, and then take it away. It feels like fate, but it's a casino. And in a casino, the house always wins. The price is your attention, your hope, your ability to sit with ordinary goodness. If Jung were alive today, he might say, "People don't love each other anymore. They love their projections. They fall for edited versions on screens. Few stay long enough to learn a real person's edges, off days, unphotogenic angles." Knowing a human takes time. Projection is instant. Bam! You're in love because you're dazzled by your own creation. Of course it feels familiar. It's you. This is why modern relationships can be brittle. The first real fight, the first letdown, and the structure collapses. The living person steps out from behind your fantasy, and they are not your projection. They are someone else with their own history, hurts, shadows. You weren't ready. You wanted a co-star for your movie. They're busy filming their own. Real love starts there, where the projections fall and the masks come off, when 2 people actually see one another and choose anyway. Most of us don't make it that far. As soon as the projection cracks, we run. We find someone new, build a fresh projection, and repeat the loop. New costume, same play. Jung named the path out. Individuation. The lifelong process of taking back your projections and integrating what you chased outside. You discover that the qualities you adored out there were seeds in you, asking for water. Then you can love for real, because you're not loving to be completed. You're already whole. You love to share. You don't audition partners to play missing roles. You invite a companion to walk beside you. None of this is easy. Facing the shadow means facing your darkest parts. The bits you swore aren't me. It stings, but it's the kind of pain that heals, the kind that matures you, the kind that turns hunger into discernment. Here's something practical. Next time you feel the pull towards someone, ask, who do they remind me of? Which old wound is waking up? Do I feel completed with them? Or am I already whole and simply attracted? If you feel completed, slow down. That's likely projection. No one can complete you. You are already whole. You just haven't learned to stand inside your own outline. Another practice. Sit with calm. Literally rehearse receiving steady, uneventful care from friends, from yourself, from your day. Learn the feel of warmth that doesn't burn. Teach your nervous system that stability is not boredom, but safety. Otherwise, you'll keep mistaking chaos for passion. And one more thing. If Jung is right, and I believe he is, much of what we call love isn't love. It's projection, illusion, our wounds dancing. But real love exists. Jung called it conscious love. 2 whole people, seeing one another without the fog and choosing each other again and again. Not dependency, but devotion. Not need, but choice. Not possession, but presence. It's rare, very rare, but possible. It asks you to know yourself, face your shadow, and heal what hurts. Then, perhaps, you'll meet another whole person. What you experience won't look like fireworks. It will be quieter, steadier, deeper. It won't burn you. It will warm you. It won't devour you. It will nourish you. That's Jung's dark truth. It's also our hope. With courage, you can face the shadow, heal, and open to real love. You can step off the stage where your wounds choreograph every scene and into a relationship that is actually real. This path isn't meant to be walked alone. Sometimes you'll need help. Jung himself underwent analysis, dove into his unconscious, wrote the Red Book. Even the master didn't do it solo. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. Therapy isn't weakness, it's courage. Most people would rather bury their pain than face it. But buried pain doesn't die. It burrows into the basement and flips the breakers when you least expect it. Jung's shadow theory doesn't apply only to romance. Friendships, work dynamics, even people you can't stand can mirror your shadow. If someone enrages you, ask which part of yourself you're seeing and rejecting. The person you label selfish may reflect the assertiveness you disown. The person you call weak may show you a tenderness you fear. The colleague who always needs attention might be pointing at a silenced part of you that longs to be seen. That's why Jung said enemies can be our greatest teachers. They show us what we reject in ourselves. Most of us refuse that lesson. We say, they're the problem. Maybe they're just a mirror held too close for comfort. Some morning practice, ask, what themes keep repeating in my life? Whom am I drawn to and why? Whom do I resent and why? When do I lose control? When do I feel least like myself? These questions are threads into the shadow. Follow them slowly, with a pen, with patience. Another exercise, take a page and list your past relationships. Next to each name, write the traits that drew you in and the feelings that kept you there. Notice patterns. Do the same qualities recur? Whom do those qualities resemble? Your mother, your father, a first love? This simple inventory can reveal a map you've been following without knowing. A warning, the journey is not painless. Bringing your shadow to light hurts. You may feel anger, grief, fear. You may want to turn back. That's normal. Keep going. On the far side of this pain is freedom. On the far side is real love. On the far side is your real self, the one who can say yes without begging and no without shame. Also remember, this isn't a one-time project. Shadow work lasts a lifetime. Each new relationship, each season, reveals a new piece of you. The aim is to stay awake, to live consciously, not on autopilot. And the modern world begs for autopilot. Swipe, scroll, like, unlike, follow, unfollow. Everything moves so fast we rarely ask, who is this person? What do I want? Why am I drawn to them? Jung's teaching invites you to slow down and ask precisely those questions, to put down your phone and pick up your soul. Maybe speed is the modern love disease. We meet, fuse, fight, split, never pausing to ask, what is this? We worship feeling and sprint after it. Jung would say feelings can deceive, especially those born from the shadow. The darker the origin, the brighter the fireworks, the quicker the burnout. One last story. Jung worked with a woman who always fell for married men. This time is different, she'd say. It never was. Jung asked, what was your father like? She cried. He was rarely home, work, friends, everything but her. She did everything to win his attention and failed. As an adult, what did she chase? unavailable men. The unconscious whispered, "This time I'll win. This time he'll choose me." She never won because those men weren't her father, and she wasn't that little girl anymore. The unconscious doesn't know time. For it, everything is now. The old wound keeps demanding a new ending. This is why Jung insisted on making the unconscious conscious. "Watch your dreams," he said. "Watch your fantasies. Whom do you desire? Why? What are you hoping for?" Those questions walk you back to yourself. They strip the costume from the archetype, the projection from the person, the casino lights from the human heart. Find yourself and you'll find love, not the desperate, depleting kind, but the conscious kind. Not dependency, but devotion. Not need, but choice. Not possession, but presence. Two whole people together. Not a perfect story, but a true one. I'll say it again. It's hard. Culture sells a different myth. My other half, soulmate. I can't live without you. They're pretty lines, but they're traps. You can live. You can be whole. You can become yourself. It takes courage. The courage to meet yourself, to heal, and yes, to be alone for a while. Aloneness, in this sense, isn't abandonment. It's a meeting with yourself. Without that meeting, you'll struggle to meet anyone else. The choice is yours. Live as a captive of your wounds, repeating the same pain with new faces. Or be brave, face yourself, and become free. Jung's warning still rings. If you do not make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life, and you will call it fate. I've told you the truth. The rest is yours. And remember, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So become it. Then love. Heal first, then attach. Know yourself first, then know another. If this made you rethink your relationship history, if it helped in that uncomfortable way, tap like so we know content like this matters. Share your biggest insight in the comments. And if you loved someone who embodied your past pain, tell us how you broke the cycle. Your story might be the rope someone else needs. We're not just making videos. We're building a small revolution of awareness. Every video, every comment, every share is part of it. Join us. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and send this to someone who needs it. Your share might be what frees a friend from a toxic loop, or helps them recognize real love when it finally arrives. Never forget, you don't attract what you wish for. You attract what your wounds demand. Turn that healing into your strength and let the warmth, not the fireworks, guide you home.